Hey guys, my name is Edri and this application of mine is called LME.ai, which stands for Let Me Explain. And the purpose for this application is to serve coders, developers, programmers like myself to help and guide us with the code snippet by explaining what's going on the code itself. So the tech stack for this app is I'm using NextJS, React NextJS, and FaunaDb as a backend, Auth0 as an authentication, NodeJS, and Stripe API. So basically my targeted demographic for this application is first, university students that just started to get their hands on programming, coding, whatever on my university. That's first. And the second one is a tuition center for kids that the tuition center teaching coding and programming subject. And then the third one is of course a newbie, intermediate, professional, coders, developers, programmers like myself to use this thing. So basically you can think of like when you post a problem, a code snippet that you don't understand on Stack Overflow, and then you might need to wait kind of like maybe one day for people to respond on your question, something like that. And also if you if you go into a Discord community, sometimes your question will be overlooked or people will like a bit late to reply to you, to your question, your code question. So this application will help them to give insights, results based from the openAI first, without waiting for other users to give them the results that they need. So you can see this is a live staging URL. So I think probably you guys can use this to see along what's the basic functionalities that we have here. But I need to show you guys how we can generate the explanation based on the openAI middleware. So let me restart my server. Okay. Alright, so let's log in. Awesome. So ignore these things. This bug will only happens on development stage. So in production stage it will be fine. So the first basic functionalities, the most powerful thing in this application is to generate explanation based on the code snippet. So for example, we can fill this up. So there are few types of languages that we can choose: JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, PHP, C, C++. So why I'm choosing these languages is because of my demographic. But in the future, of course, we will put more than this. So because this is kind of like a baby stage for this Let Me Explain application, kind of like our first iteration for this app, to make it alpha closed testing. So anyways, so let's generate some codes here. Let y Alright, so we have two options. We can either choose to share this code snippet to public, or we can keep it to ourselves, private, only available on our profile page. So you can see there's numbers here which indicates the maximum input that the user can have, which is 600, and the minimum for this input to be filled is 30 characters long. That is to avoid kind of like some random people will put it something like this, probably, I'm not sure. But if this is the case, they still can generate a result based on this if they exceed the characters long, the minimum requirement for the characters. Well, anyway, this is I'm still finding a solution on how we can make this thing robust only for code snippet itself. Or maybe the second option will be we put it as a rule on our application that we seek for the user's cooperation to fill this form appropriately in a good manners. Yeah. So let's get back to this. If we click next, then we will generate the results. Oops. I guess my quota is finished. Let me see. Oh, it's not. Let's refresh again. Okay, let's take something here easier. Let's say if the user don't understand what's going on this particular function, they can just title I don't understand this Upvotes array function insights. We paste here. I need to share it to public. Oh, I think something going on my server. That's weird. Right, sorry for the bugs. I will get it sorted now. Let's try it again. Okay, let's disable this thing first. But the logic is kind of right though. Oh, did I miss because of this? But this is re-explain. Alright, I think let's remove this first for you guys to see. And shall remove this and this. And let's try it again. Alright, let's take this again. Function looks. Right. Oh, I didn't show button. Top. Token length. Holy shit. Alright, I guess let's try it again. Not sure why it's not working though. There's a quota here. Alright. There you go. Right, so this explanation is generated purely from openAI Cushman codex engine. So you can see on the bottom left hand side here. So the max token, we will set it to 300. This is a fixed value, and this is I'm putting the user input, like the safety guides that you guys propose. That we have a user ID from the auth0 as well as the user nickname from the auth0. So yeah, pretty much if they don't like this explanation, they can generate it again, but it will consume 1 token per run when we call the endpoint. Pretty much it's not really clean. I'm still fixing the issue for this stop command. This thing, I'm still working on it, but pretty much it's kind of like accurate, giving its accurate result for the code snippet itself. So say the user accept this explanation, it clarifies their problem, and they click on accept, and before they post the snippets, they can see the preview of the results here. So we get the user and the snippet, which is here. Then we get the upvote collection, which is this line. For each entry, this is the for loop, blah blah blah. If there's a match, then we check if our current user has the upvote added in our database, so which is this thing. And also then we return voters. What is its purpose? So this is kind of like random thing, because we set the temperature to this percentage, 71.6%. So yeah, and also they can edit if they know what's up with this. Maybe they can edit something here. Right, when we click save, it will appear on our home page as we save it publicly. As well, we can see it on our profile page. So let's say if you want to edit, we don't want to share this thing to public, we can go to edit and we can untick the share to public input, and we click on save, and it will not appear on the home page. Yep, it will only appear on our own personal page. So the second basic functionality is, of course, we have a comment section. This is where we can let the other user to guide each other and discuss on the code snippet and discuss on the accuracy of the results that the openAI generated for us. So let's see for this thing. Let's view this thing. Okay, this is the update token function, and this is the explanation. Okay, the first thing, we fetch the URL, blah blah blah. Okay, which is correct. And then we call the promise like a function and wait for it to resolve. So basically this is correct. it promises a fetch request to update our user quota. Yup. So this is to respond await request. We could also use await. Pretty much this is kind of like an input from extra input from the OpenAI, I suppose. And the result will not be completed. That's why we have the ... So this is where the user, the communities, all the developers will discuss on the results based on the comment section. But if it's good, then says looks good to me. Keep coding. So you can see this is pretty much our live staging URL. So let's see, testing the backend. This is a not logged in user. If they want to see these snippets, they can also see the comment and the code, but they cannot create one. There you go. Click on refresh. There you go. And the third basic functionality is, of course, the upvotes operation. This is I'm creating this to see which code snippet are the most upvoted ones. Basically, pretty much meaning to say it's kind of like the result is pretty much accurate based on the code snippet that the user posted. And also, this is a future plan for me, is to rank the snippet and the user on which has the most upvoted snippets bi-weekly, monthly, and yearly. And thus, the user will the user with the most upvoted snippets shall receive rewards. It's pretty much basically kind of like if they have like the most upvoted snippets, we will reward the user with a free token for them to keep generating the code. Yeah. And also for the comment section, I forgot to mention that is to monitor the user that participates, contributes in commenting, helps, guides other user code snippets, and also that particular user we shall give them the rewards. Pretty much they have kind of like they are active user in this application. And our future plan for this pretty much to implementing a game to let user plays to gain free tokens to call the endpoints. And the second one is to set up a Discord server for real-time community discussion. And the third one is, of course, like I mentioned just now, like I mentioned earlier, the reward system for the most active user as stated previously. So to avoid any spam on the endpoint, we will have kind of like token. So pretty much this token, how this token works, is kind of like quota for us to call the endpoint. So we have like 4 tiers. Tier 0 means it's a free plan. You can see on the code here. Let's see tier 0. So basically we will provide them 25 token for tier 0. Tier 1, this is a paid plan. Tier 1 till tier 3 is a paid plan, which is consists of 125 token, 325 tokens, and 625 tokens accordingly. So every time the endpoint is called, it consumes 1 token, and when the token is 0, the user will not able to call the endpoint. So for the free plan, The token will be renewed every month, and they can change the tier anytime by subscribing our plans. And for the tier 1 to tier 3 plans, if they stop subscribe or didn't pay for the subscription plan, and the following month they will be automatically converted into tier 1. They still can use the app, but they have less tokens. I guess pretty much this is pretty much like our first iteration for Let Me Explain, and I believe this is gonna be huge in the future, basically for coders, programmers, developer. We're gaining some sort of like huge traction basically in this era. So I hope I can feel that this application will help them to get started with their coding journey, programming journey, developer journey. And pretty much I'm planning to release this application as an alpha close stage in this month by 22nd February onwards, which only allows the whitelisted users to be able to use this application. And I would like to capture their feedback by providing them a form to fill in to help me improve this application. So yeah, I guess that's about it for Let Me Explain.